Are you excited to be here at my show? Hope you all enjoy it and have fun.
Oh yeah. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Veet, and we're back on the first Descendant. Today is update day. It is update 1.05. As you can see, this is the first content update for the first Descendant, I'm pretty sure. And there's a lot of new stuff. There's a lot of new stuff in this update. We're going to go over some of the patch notes items. There's some interesting editor notes in there as well that I want to take a look at, alluding to some future changes that might be coming to the first Descendant that are really great fixes to some of the biggest complaints of the game so far. At least knowing that the devs of the game, at least they're pointing them out and they're letting us know that they're aware of these and they're going to be looking into these for future updates. But in terms of this update, in terms of update 1.05, we got 2 new Descendants. Well, 1 new Descendant and then the other being a new Ultimate Descendant. And I'll show you guys those here. So we have 2 new Descendants, one being Luna, the Mad Artist. So she's got a very interesting moveset. It seems like a lot of her moves are based around music. So she's obviously a non-attribute, and she's added to the non-attribute list of Descendants. I know that sucks, but you know, what are you gonna do? You know, we still only have 1 toxic and 1 ice, but you know, another non-attribute. You know, here we are. But her attacks are based around music and performing, and from what I understand, most of her abilities gives buffs to allies, but damage buffs to and ability buffs to her allies on the team, which is pretty cool. When hitting enemies while hitting notes, grants cheerful sound to allies within range. When using an enhanced skill, increase the effects further. Yeah, so a lot of it is just buffs for her allies and herself. Valby, we already have her main set of abilities, but having an ultimate version of Valby is pretty sick as well. I know a lot of people love Valby. I have a buddy that mains Valby, so he's going to be grinding for this for sure. I mean, we already know Valby is going to be, or ultimate Valby is going to be an intense grind. You know, all these ultimate Descendants are really intense grinds for their materials. But let's take a look and see what it takes to get Luna. So we could see a lot of her stuff is in the common zone or in the normal zone. We can get her Spiral Catalyst Blueprint from a pattern 15, which if we need to see where we get this, we can just click X there and we can see right here, mission here, this Vulgus Strategic Outpost here in Vespers. So that'll drop that, and then once you get that, you can go over to the Fusion Reactor and unlock pattern 15 Mutant AA there. You can see it. So that's for the Catalyst Blueprint, and then it looks like pattern 17 Mutant AA, we can get her enhanced cells, and both are at a 38%, which is pretty nice. And then the real grind starts for better odds at other items like her Stabilizer. Her Stabilizer is at a 32%, but it is pattern 68 Mutant AA, which will be a hard mode material. Getting this shouldn't be a problem, but unlocking it might be difficult for some people. So getting it will be easy, but you will need to defeat the Dead Bride. The Dead Bride for pattern 68 Mutant AA. You need to defeat the Dead Bride on hard mode in order to get that 32%. And you know, unless you're running an ultimate Lepic, it is kind of hard to farm this boss, unfortunately. And then for the best odds, the very best odds for the Luna code is going to be pattern 94 Mutant AA. You get a 32% chance for the Luna code dropping. This, you would need to defeat the Swamp Walker on hard mode in order to get that the Luna code blueprint, at least for the 32%. There are other patterns that you could grind with the 3%. Common patterns like pattern 27 Mutant AA, which has the 3%. This is another Vulgus Outpost pattern in normal mode, not hard mode. So you could take the 3% chance and try to grind it that way, but you do have better odds unlocking it via the Swamp Walker on hard mode with the 94 Mutant AA material pattern. Speaking of these Colossi on hard mode, we actually got a new one. Before this update, The last one on hard mode was the Molten Fortress. Now we have a new Colossi entering the stage, and it's Gluttony. And I wish I got far enough to check out exactly what kind of enemy he is, but from what I'm seeing here, it looks like it is a chill. It is a chill enemy, similar to the Frostwalker and Dead Bride. So, you know, at least we still have our ultimate Lepics that can nuke these guys pretty quickly, hopefully. I mean, he is level 140, so it is going to be a much tougher fight than really anything that we fought against in hard mode so far. But the really cool thing about Gluttony is actually this new ultimate weapon, the Peacemaker hand cannon. And I mean, it has a very unique design. It looks pretty cool. What's really cool about this, the only way to get each of the materials for it is to just defeat Gluttony. The polymer blueprint, yeah, you just got to defeat Gluttony. Same thing with the synthetic fiber, defeat Gluttony. Same thing with the nanotube blueprint, defeat Gluttony, as well as the blueprint for the gun itself. You just got to defeat Gluttony. So it's going to be a much easier grind than a lot of the other legendary weapons in the game. I say that like you're not going to have to defeat the now hardest boss or the highest level boss in hard mode. But, you know, technically getting the materials themselves, if you can defeat that boss relatively frequently, you should be able to get this gun unlocked relatively fast. Taking a look at the patch notes, there's a few things that I wanted to go over. One being this drop rate improvement plan. So they're aware of the community's kind of outrage, and I did make a video on it when I was trying to grind for the Divine Punishment legendary gun, the infamous pattern 14 that you got from the Vulgus Outpost station. Well, it said it was a 20% drop rate, and it did not feel like a 20% drop rate for that pattern because I grinded the hell out of it. But from what they're saying here is the devs are confirming that the drop rate are fair. They're operating fairly in the first Descendant, and we really should not be experiencing any kind of miscommunication between the percentage of an item drop and what we're actually getting from those missions. But they are talking about a new system where we can easily get the item you want after repeating the activity a certain number of times. So for example, pattern 14 might say it drops at a 20% chance. And if you have shite luck like me, which is a 1 in 5, 20% chance is 1 in 5. Well, what this might mean is if you don't get it by, let's say, the sixth attempt, they would just give it to you, which would be sick. I mean, it might, the numbers are, you know, we'll see what the numbers actually come out to be, depending on the percentage of items. But if it's a 20% chance, I can imagine that you won't have to wait more than 7 attempts in order to guarantee that you get an item with a 20% chance. But this would be a cool system to implement. I mean, this would definitely speed up at least some of the more tedious drops. They're also talking about in the future maybe disposing of leftover items like any kind of blueprints or anything that you have multiple copies of. For example, you might be going for a 3% item drop and you're just farming a pattern over and over again. You keep getting the 38%, for example, of a blueprint that you don't really have any interest in using later down the line or making gun versions of later down the line. So they're talking about allowing players or descendants or whatever, us, to be able to dispose of these items and to dismantle them. They're talking about giving us some kind of award, maybe outside of Golder Kuiper. But honestly, I think the community would just be happy with a little bit of extra Golder Kuiper since, you know, that's especially in hard mode. It's hard to come by outside of a farm, outside of a real grind. You know, people want to strengthen their modules as high and as quickly as possible. So honestly, just getting rid of unwanted resources and materials that you have in your possession for just Golder Kuiper, I mean, that sounds like a win for me. So hopefully the devs do something about that, which would be sick. So yeah, that's the content update 1.05 for the first Descendant. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. If you want more first Descendant tips, tricks, and news, be sure to sub to the channel. And I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Peace.